The military frequencies had not changed. Even after everything that had happened, your command structures remained locked in the same pattern they had held since the first hour of contact. The orders continued, and the weapons continued, and the result continued to be the same. I had observed this before, on other worlds and in other contact events. There is always a layer of a species that cannot update its understanding fast enough to keep pace with what is actually happening. On your planet, that layer had uniforms and satellites and the legal authority to keep firing at something that had already shown, without any ambiguity, that firing would change nothing. And still they continued. Ethan and Lena had made it back through the boundary field before the military frequency locked onto their position. They emerged into the open air of the city and stood for a moment in the silence of people who have just been somewhere that has permanently changed who they are. Lena looked at her own hands. Then up at the hull of the vessel above her. Then at Ethan. They are not going to stop on their own. The governments are not going to stop. Someone has to go directly to the people. Ethan did not argue with her. He understood, the way people understand things when hesitation has been burned away, that she was right. They moved back into the streets and I followed their signals as they found their way to the places where people had gathered. Not to fight and not to flee. Simply to be near other human beings in a moment too large to face alone. Lena stood in front of those people and spoke without notes and without the prepared authority that governments use to make their voices sound larger than they are. She spoke from the part of her that had stopped being careful. This is not about what country you were born in. This is not about what you believe or what language you speak. This is about whether we are going to let fear make every decision for us until there is nothing left to decide. The ones above us are not our enemy. We are the only enemy we have ever had. I recorded the response of the people around her and ran it against everything in our archive. The shift in their collective frequency was unlike anything I had measured at this stage of a contact event. Something was moving through that crowd that was not quite agreement and not quite hope, but was closer to both than any signal I had a precise name for. Then the broadcast came through every speaker in the city simultaneously. The voice of government authority cut across everything Lena had just built in that square, telling the people that the situation was under control, that the only appropriate response was to trust the systems designed to protect them. The crowd went uncertain in the way crowds go uncertain when two voices are telling them different things and they must decide, perhaps for the first time, which one they actually believe. Lena did not step back. She held her ground and looked at the faces around her and said one more thing before the authorities reached the edge of the crowd. You already know which one is true. You have always known. I held everything I had on what happened next. The data was telling me something our models had not prepared us to receive. And before I could process the full weight of what I was reading, the crowd began to. Thank you for watching until the end. We need your support. Please subscribe to our channel and give us a like.